Okay, we're not doing this.
Hey guys, it's me Regina and I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be rating the TV shows I've watched. Now if you know me, I watch a lot of TV shows. So I watch a lot of TV shows and I have an ongoing list, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot to me. Big fat disclaimer. Like, if you like it, then that's great. It's just like, personally, these are my opinions and I am entitled to my own opinion. Moving on. Comment down below some shows you recommend. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and give this video a fat like because, you know, your girl needs it. Okay, let's get started with this video. This is in no particular order. This is just like all that I remember off the top of my head. Okay, so the first show is Marvel's Runaway. Okay, so I rate this show 9.7 out of 10. So basically, if you haven't watched it, it's about, basically it's based on comics. So basically, there's like 6 kids, okay, and then their parents work for this secret organization, I guess, and then so they're like evil, and so they find out about them, and then they try to find a way to like stop them, and then they run away, hence the Runaways. So, and the parents work for this evil alien, and he wants to destroy the world, I think, and that's basically the main plot. It sounds really bad, but it's really good. It's a really good show. It's really interesting, and yeah. Okay, so the second show is The Flash. This is on the CW, and it's also on Netflix. The first 4 seasons are on Netflix. And it's a really good show. Basically what it's about is a person named Barry Allen, okay, and then so he gets struck by lightning caused by a particle accelerator, and then so he has superpowers and he can run really fast, and that's not the only thing he can do other stuff, but I mean, that's for you to watch. Okay, I'm really sorry. I just left out a major detail in this plot. So basically, as a kid, Barry's mother died because of this person in yellow, the Reverse Flash, which we will find out who later on in the seasons, but that's very major and I thought you guys should know that. But basically, essentially, there's a different villain in each season, and every person that got struck by that particle accelerator gets superpowers, and then so they, you know, most of them are criminals, so yeah. It 10 out of 10 because it's a really good show and it's really funny and it's just really interesting, and the plot is like really unique, I guess, for a superhero movie. Okay, so the third show, I'm not even keeping track anymore, but anyways, the third show is Supergirl. Now it kind of ties in the whole Arrowverse, with the Flash, Arrow, and Supergirl. They're all like these CW superhero shows that are in the same world, basically. I didn't finish the show, or like I didn't go through all 3 seasons that's on Netflix because I didn't think it was that good. I rated it 7.8 out of 10 because, well, it's like, it's kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. It's just like, it's kind of the same thing. And that's kind of like The Flash too, but it's like kind of, it's just, in a way, if you just watch it and then it's just not that interesting. Although I love the show and it's like a good concept and stuff like that, but, you know, I just wish there was more to it. So the next show is Pretty Little Liars, and this is a really popular show and I didn't finish it yet. I'm currently on season 4. My opinions are based on where I'm at so far, and I rated a 6.1 out of 10. The reason why I rated that is because I think it's just really repetitive, but it's problematic. That's a good word for it. It's problematic. There's a lot of things happening at once, and you like retain information every episode, which is kind of the base of every show, but like it's just kind of too much. The next show is The 100. Now I haven't finished this. I'm on season 2 right now. But it's a pretty good show and I rate it 7 out of 10. It's a really good show. The concept's like kind of like every other survival kind of show, so it's like, it's just not very interesting, but like the concept of like trying to survive in a new world is like kind of cool. Okay, the next show is Riverdale. Now, I think everyone really knows this show because of how much hate it gets because of the really bad script writing. And how it really messes up musicals and stuff. I rate it 7 out of 10. I think my favorite season is season 2 because you get to see more of the characters, because like in season 1 it kind of makes them look one-sided and kind of stereotypical, if you know what I mean. The next show is Teen Wolf. I rate it a 10 out of 10 because it's just like a really good, it's a supernatural concept, but it's like it's really interesting. It's funny, it's action packed, and it just has everything you really want in a show. So the next show is On My Block, and I rate it a 10 out of 10 because it's a really good show, you know, showing like teenagers and their lives and like the reality of things. Okay, so next is Stranger Things. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone's heard of this show, but it's just like really good. Like, it's overrated, but it's really good. So I rated it a 10 out of 10 because it's really interesting, and it's like supernatural, but it's like really, it's kind of like a different sense of supernatural, if you know what I mean. The next show is Everything Sucks. Now this takes place in the 90s or the 80s, I forgot, but like it kind of shows a different side of things, and where like, you know, the drama kids are like popular in the like the what's it called, like the video, the I don't know what it's called. I'm probably gonna put it on the screen now if I remember what it is. It's just like coming of age. So it's a really good show, and it ended sadly. I rated it 8 out of 10. So the next show is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and this takes place in the same world as Riverdale because it was like kind of, you know, the Archie comics, and it just gives like a really dark perspective of it, or not perspective, but like aspect view of it. Really, it's pretty dark. It's pretty dark, not gonna lie. But it's really interesting because it's like women empowerment, you know? And I rate it an 8.5 out of 10 because it's really good. Not my favorite show, but it's really interesting, so
I dig.
The next show is American Vandal, and so this show is like a mockumentary is what it's called. It's like a documentary, but it's not real. It's not a real story or anything, and it's really good. And I rate it at 8.8 out of 10. And then when you think of documentary, you think like, oh, it's so boring, but it's like based on like high school, and this is like actually really good. Like, I'm like not even lying, even though it's fake, it's just really good. Just like, please watch it. And like both seasons are about 2 different things, but basically there's just these 2 people documenting a situation. Okay, so the next show is Glee, and basically what this show is about is it's about the Glee Club singing and musicals, and you know, it's just like really basic. And I mean, if you're into that type of musical and singing stuff, then go watch the show. It's really good. 6 seasons. It's really problematic. There's a lot of relationships. There's a lot of drama, so you know, get ready for that. But it's a good show. The next show is, oh my gosh. Okay, so the next show is Insatiable. Now, I think everyone's heard about this controversy, but it's I rate it a 4 out of 10 because it's just like not really a good show. It's like really interesting, but it's just like, it's kind of boring. Yeah. Go watch it if you want. Okay, so the next show is called 13 Reasons Why, and I think everyone's heard of this once again. And so I rate it an 8 out of 10. yeah, an 8 out of 10 because it's a really interesting show. It kind of like talks about suicide, and it's just like makes you aware, and there's a lot of like controversy around it and how it's like glorifying suicide and stuff like that. But it's just like, I personally think it's a good show, and that it's like it's meant to help teens like learn about suicide and like to not do it. Okay, so the next show is Atypical, and this is about a person named Sam who has autism. I think it's autism. And then basically he tries to like find a girlfriend and like tries to like deal with world problems and regular teenager problems while he has autism, which he's like really judged for, I guess. Which makes it harder for him to like, you know, adjust to like normal things and stuff like that. So I rate it a 7 out of 10 because it's not my favorite show, but it sure is interesting, and it's just kind of like really like eye-opening. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the next show is You, and this is also another Netflix original. And this is such a good show. Oh my gosh. Okay, and I rate it a 9.3 out of 10. It's a really, really good show. Okay, so it's about this stalker, okay? And so he finds this girl, and so you might think, oh, stalker, like creepy. Like, he's creepy, but like he's kind of like an ordinary human, if you know what I mean. He's just like a creepy person. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like anyways, so he's like stalks this girl, okay? And then so he's really in love with her, and so he like tries to like get in the way of like who she likes and like all these humans in her life and like her best friends and everything, and tries everything to get to her and be with her and have a relationship with her. Okay, so the next show is Friends, and I'm currently watching this. I'm on season 8 right now, and I rate it a 9.8 out of 10. It's a really good show. It's so funny. It's just like, honestly, friendship goals, and it's just like the kind of friends that you want in your life, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like I want friends like that. Okay, so the next show is The Umbrella Academy, and now this is like my favorite show ever. I rated it a 10 out of 10. And basically it's about 7 kids who get adopted, and then so they all have like superpowers except for number 7. Don't want to spoil, but like something happens with her, but like anyways, so they all get numbers, and then they all have superpowers and fight crime as children, and then so they're called the Umbrella Academy until they grow up and grow apart and leave until they go back together for their father's funeral, and then find out the apocalypse is coming in 8 days. Try to prevent the apocalypse from happening. Okay, so the final show that I'm currently binging right now is Jane the Virgin, and I'm currently on season 4, and I rate it a 9.3 out of 10. It's a really good show. It's quite problematic, I would say, and it's about this girl named Jane, and so basically she's a virgin, you know, and then there's this girl named Petra, and so she was supposed to get inseminated, but instead Jane gets inseminated, and so she gets pregnant.